Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Construct Innovate webinar series on innovation and entrepreneurship that we're hosting in collaboration with Engineers Ireland West Region. So today's webinar is around opportunities to allow companies to innovate. My name is Jamie Goggins and I'm Chair of Construct Innovate, which is Ireland's National Research Centre for Construction Technology and Innovation. This is the sixth webinar in the series on innovation and entrepreneurship. We're delighted to have two fantastic speakers today. So we have our first speaker is Paul Keogh, who's founder and CEO of Paul Keogh and Associates. And he's going to talk about how to scale a family-run business in there. He's very well placed to be able to present on this, having worked in senior roles in family businesses such as Guinness, JCB, and Ballymore Homes, as well as lots of other past experiences, which he's going to, I suppose, help to inform his talk today. And then we have Caroline McDonagh, who's Associate Head of Enterprise at the local enterprise offices in Galway. And she's going to talk about supporting a positive enterprise ecosystem. And again, Caroline has lots of experience in different roles before she joined the local enterprise office. And we'll let you know about what supports that they can provide and the experience of supporting enterprises. So if you have any questions, you can pop them in the Q&A function. So at the bottom of the screen, you'll see a Q&A there. You can put them into the Q&A button at the bottom there, and we'll deal with all the questions at the end of the two presentations. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Paul. So I've got to say, actually, that Paul is on the steering committee, or sorry, he's the chair of the steering committee of Construct Innovate. So he's having a big influence not only on on family-run businesses, but also on the ecosystem that we are setting up to help to support the construction sector, providing some research assistance to them. So over to you, Paul.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to talk about family businesses, but probably a little bit broader. If you're not a family business, some of the points today are going to be relevant as well. My background is mainly, as Jamie says, in helping family businesses of different sizes, from SMEs right through to the larger companies. And I get my plug in first. I've written a book on helping family business, just a practical guide. It's called The Family Business Book, and it's literally quick tips in terms of questions you might ask in terms of families and growth. So just on the first point that I'd like to make, if we could have point one, growing a family business is essential in any industry, particularly for long-term profitability, long-term growth. It's very difficult to sustain a business at a small or medium size for the long term. Might be okay if you were in retail or something like that, but if you look at the construction industry around the world, same in Ireland, there are really too many SMEs in the construction industry. As we can see at the moment, in terms of any of the economic commentaries, a lot of small businesses, the 1 to 6, 1 to 10, can struggle at a time where interest rates might be going up, credit might be difficult, and also getting paid. So ultimately, I think it's a good idea if the small businesses in an industry can find a way of growing. There are probably over 55,000 registered companies in the construction industry in Ireland. Now, they can be from a 1 or 2 man painter, plumber, or whatever, but it's still a large amount. It's the biggest sector of industry in Ireland in terms of number of registered companies. And that's not allowing for then a lot of guys that are trading as sole traders. So for an industry to survive, it needs to have companies growing into middle and potentially large size companies. So the second point, please. The The key thing, though, in all these conversations about growth and scaling is don't just build or make more for the sake of it. You have to be smart in terms of how to grow. There's no one formula, no matter which sector of the construction industry you're in. For example, the most common growth method would be organic growth. You just do more of the same, do it better, grow your geographic area, grow your customers, grow internationally, whatever it might be. But one of the areas that I think is coming into practice more in most industries now is the consideration of, is there an opportunity to merge with somebody that's maybe doing a like-minded business, but maybe in a different geographic area or slightly different product range? Or also, particularly in construction, there are opportunities in terms of acquisition. And this may arise because of age. Sometimes the owners of companies, there isn't anybody to take over from them. They run a very good business, but they're sort of stuck. And conversations can happen where, particularly through trade associations and organizations, through the local enterprise office and through chambers of commerce and that, where you get talking to people within your own industry. I suppose the starting point for any of these discussions, whether you're a family business or a partnership or a company listed on the stock exchange, if we could have the third point there, the key is to start with a detailed evaluation of your current operation, your customers, your suppliers, your subcontractors, and be honest in terms of the evaluation of where you are as a business. Sometimes the discussion begins because you're sitting on cash and you have a choice as to what to do with cash. Do you invest in assets? Do you reinvest it in the business? Do you take it as a dividend? But I'm inclined to encourage businesses to have a third party help them with the evaluation. And this is really, I suppose, just for honesty, because sometimes people see their own businesses in a rose-colored glasses type approach to the business. And rightly so in some ways. They've grown the business. They're very proud of it. They've worked it 24/7. But maybe the business isn't exactly as they think it might be. You also have to evaluate, particularly if you're a contractor, the team around you in terms of subcontractors and suppliers. Have they the ability to grow with you? Do they want to grow with you? Can you help them grow? And that's particularly important in things like house building, for example, is you have to make sure that your suppliers and your subcontractors and everybody else that forms your team can grow with you as you want to expand. And the fourth point then, I suppose, is you really need to do extensive research into the potential business opportunities. Many of the opportunities are obviously coming in the area of technology now and new ways of doing business. And this is where Construct Innovate can be particularly helpful to companies of all sizes. You don't have to be a large company, a multinational company. You can be a small company with an idea, but you're just not sure how to go about it. And you're just not sure of the opportunity that may exist. And the local EO office is particularly helpful in this area in terms of giving you the tools to help you research a business opportunity, and also maybe to help you with mentoring and other aspects of that. And also, as we go along in our development, Enterprise Ireland are getting more involved in the construction industry now, and there are grants available, Build to Innovate program, and other opportunities for companies in the construction industry to look at this whole area of scaling. And the fifth point then would be specific to a family business. Family businesses, this may come as a surprise to many, but in excess of 70% of family businesses in Ireland do not have a succession plan. That always amazes me, of how a business is running and operating, but no one really other than the owners or the owner know really what is the plan, what does the future hold. And sometimes I think that can come from the fact that the owner doesn't want to think about the future. They don't want to think about succession because it may make them feel old, or maybe past their time, or whatever else. But it's very frustrating for the next generation that are in a family business. I know of family owners, that my own father included, who would never talk about what's the plan for the business. And many people nowadays, because children are being born late or whatever, can be in their 50s or sometimes even in their 60s, and they still don't know what the plan is for the family business. Now, that's quite frustrating, particularly if you have a third generation coming through and they say to you, what's the plan for the business? The other reason why I think succession planning is not put down in writing and discussed with everybody in the family is that maybe the owner is considering or not adverse to selling the business at some point in time. And that can cause difficulties in conversation in a family business, because some of the next generation would think, well, what's the point? Why would we join a family business if ultimately the objective is to sell it? So we've got to have those conversations, and we've got to have them early. Now, that is unique, I suppose, to a family-owned business, but the planning ahead is common to a partnership or to a business formed by maybe three friends or whatever else. You need to really have a long-term view of the business. And next point, please. The key to this is to set long-term objectives for the business. So to think, 5 to 10 years ahead, and don't rule out the sale of a business. It's not being defeatist. It's not lacking ambition, but very often you see it particularly in tech companies nowadays, particularly newly formed tech companies. They nearly set the company up with a view to selling it within a short period of time. So it's a different mindset to maybe traditional construction companies. And I know from a generation previous to me, and maybe even people in my generation, there's this conflict between giving a business over to your children and giving them the legacy of your name over the door and carrying it through to a next generation. I suppose because we're a younger nation in terms of industrialization and in terms of business generally, it wouldn't be that surprising in Germany, for example, to be in the 8th, 9th, 10th generation. And the business at this stage hopefully has grown to a scale where it has family charters, it has shareholder agreements, it has all the governance side of it that you would find in a PLC or a large company. But those conversations, particularly in a family business, are difficult. Everybody's busy. Sometimes it's difficult to sit down and talk about the future. In my case, for example, my father was particularly difficult to talk about what's the plan. And I think his reluctance came from the fact that he didn't really know either. But nowadays, I think the next generation, compared to, say, my generation, and the generation coming through, they're better educated. They're educated in a wider range of subjects. Their view is mainly global. Now they've traveled a lot. If we look at the Irish younger generation now, all over the world, you know, it's just on a call to Toronto yesterday. You see the amount of Irish young people there, Vancouver, right across the world, Australia, New Zealand, not just the UK as it was in generations to four. And one of the problems with that is, which didn't happen years ago, was not every next generation family member wants to be in the family business. And this may cause tension within the business. You know, you ungrateful little so-and-so, I built this business up and you don't want to, you want to go off and do something else. Some of the next generation think they can go off and travel the world and then come back and just take over the family business when they are ready, rather than if it suits the actual family business. So we'll come back to that in terms of the choice then, that maybe in terms of scaling up, if you don't have a next generation in the business, then you have choices to make about shareholders, maybe giving some equity to key people to keep them in the business. If we could have the next point, please. But either way, whether you're a family business or not, I think the key is to develop a detailed business plan for growth. And this should really be as much a product document, a marketing document, but really the detailed financial implications of growth in there. In today's environment, you need to familiarize yourself with the different funding models. Where do the banks fit into this? Are the banks willing to help you grow? What type of money is available for scaling your business? And that's where, again, you come back to the idea of a merger or acquisition. Obviously, from a merger point of view, you don't have the same constraints in terms of having to raise money. You can come to an equity arrangement with whoever you're merging with. Acquisition is maybe different in the sense that you may find the pillar banks not that interested in funding an acquisition, but you'll find many funds now, world funds that are interested in Ireland and also interested in the growth potential, particularly when they hear statistics like we have to build 250,000 houses or homes in the next 5 years. That's of interest to people sitting on money that they may want to use. Go on to the next point, please. The key, though, to this, and I've seen so many businesses expand and they overtrade. And by that, I mean the business is going well. They can't resist a big contract or a big deal coming through, and they overexpand and run out of cash. And even though they're trading well, it can confuse people, particularly when they're profitable, but they've no cash. So the cash flow projections and the cash monitoring is key to any idea of scaling or expansion. And that has to be really minded carefully. And at the next point, it seems obvious, but again, in the desire to expand, we've often seen companies' consistency in terms of quality be jeopardized. And that can be because you were used to managing everything when it was a certain scale. And then as it grew, you lost control of certain aspects. Customer service, build quality, delivery, whatever it might be. But that is key to consistency in terms of growth, is to be able to maintain or improve the quality across all aspects of your business. And that can change often when you're an owner manager, you've done everything yourself, the customer knows you personally, you know the suppliers, you know the subbies, everything. And then suddenly now you've had to grow into a management team, and you've got to trust your colleagues that the plan that you've written down, the standards that you've set for the business aren't jeopardized by growth. And that can often be a symptom of growing too quickly. But there are a lot of companies that have got themselves into difficulties in terms of quality because of the pace of their scaling. In the next point, please. This, I think, is crucial as well. And it's now probably getting the attention that it deserves. Is to grow a business and to scale up, you really need to have the right people with the right skill set that can take the business to the next level. This is one of the problems with a family business, is often the generation that started the business and grew it don't necessarily have the skill set to scale it up. And we often see conflict between different generations. A new generation coming into the business may not have the worldly experience necessarily at senior management level in the business. Their frustration maybe is they're gung-ho to try new things. They're very tech savvy. They're very worldly. They're up to date in terms of new methods of doing business. And the, if you like, controlling generation sits there sometimes and says, that's not really the way we do business. And that frustration, it can be key in a family business. Now, one of the ways to get over that, you'll find in many family business, there's a strong financial controller or chief financial officer, whatever you like to call them. And for some reason, I'm never sure the answer to this, but the financial director or the chief financial officer in the main is not a family member. I'm not sure why that is. Do the family members not do accountancy, or do they not want to be the accountant, or whatever? But you'll find in a lot of companies, the most senior non-family person is the accountant. But as you grow, you may need other non-family specialists to grow the business and to scale it up. Some of the problems, obviously, in family businesses is, take, for example, you have 4 children. There's the discussion over the dinner table, which says, we need to treat our children equally. They all should have equal opportunity within the business. But the problem there is they might not all have equal skill base. And so, you'll see in some family businesses, the next generation children are all directors of something. Directors of marketing, directors of sales, directors of technology, directors, whatever. And that's fine if they have this skill base to do it. But as businesses grow, and you'll see some of the biggest companies in the world, you'll find that the skill is bought in because you have a competitor who has a particularly good manufacturing manager or whatever, and you take that skill in to be able to help scale the business. My final point in all of this would be just be careful and do scale up for the right reasons. Just don't scale up because you're bored or you feel inadequate or you don't want to be small. I have worked with a lot of companies that have scaled themselves out of business. So just do it right. By all means, plan it right, and the best of luck with your expansion plans. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Paul. It's a lot of great advice there. As I said, if anyone has some questions or comments for Paul, put them into the Q&A box there at the bottom of your screen. You should see it, and either deal with them responding by typing back to you, or we'll deal with them after the next presentation. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to our next speaker. So Caroline McDonagh, who's the Associate Head of Enterprise at the local Enterprise office in Galway here. And she's going to talk about supporting a positive enterprise ecosystem. Sorry, over to you, Caroline.
Hi there, Jamie. Thanks a million for having us. I'll just share my screen here. Now, can everyone see that?
Yep, thanks.
Okay, good stuff. Thanks a million. And I think I might have met some of the Construct Innovate students on Saturday when I was in the Alice Perry engineering building. So if I did, hello again. So the local enterprise office, we are the first stop shop for entrepreneurs, micro businesses, and we support businesses up to 10 employees and with a maximum turnover of €2 million. Our aim would be for our clients to grow and scale, that they would eventually become Enterprise Ireland clients or grow, I guess, further afield. So we have a range of supports. Let's see now. Here we go. Soft supports. I think I can minimize this. Will I minimize that? Is that better? Okay. So just in terms of our soft supports, we offer business advisory and one-to-one free sessions. So anybody who wants to find out about their business idea, or if they have a micro business, what supports that they could get from the Leo if they're eligible for any supports, or indeed for us to signpost the individual or to the business to other supports that we are familiar with that are available throughout the city, county, and indeed throughout the island. We provide short training courses for businesses that we would say would kind of fill in all the pieces of the jigsaw that is needed to run a business, from accounting to marketing to sales to promotion to HR. So there's a current list on our website if anybody wants to have a look. And we also have the Start Your Own Business program, which we run one every month, and they're generally run online in the evenings on Tuesday and Thursday evenings between 6 and 8 p.m. And we do run one or two programs in person during the day as well throughout the year for those who prefer to come in person. We also support Microfinance Ireland. So if you come through the local enterprise office for the microfinance grant, you get it at a lower rate of 5.5%, and you will get support with the application. And also if you are approved, you can get follow-on mentoring, and the grant is anywhere between €5,000 and €25,000. We also have a number of management development programs which support the entrepreneur of the business, and I'll talk through some of those as I go through the slides. So the Green for Business program, it provides a 2-day consultancy support for you to assess the carbon footprint of your business. And then you get a report as an output from that. And then it gives you advice and ways that you can improve that carbon footprint, be it in terms of getting new equipment or switching, even simple things like switching out bulbs and so on. You can also use a percentage of that to help you apply for the B Corp, which a lot of our clients are talking about at the moment. We also have the Energy Efficiency Grant, which is money which allows you to implement the outputs of the Green for Business. So there's up to €5,000 available for businesses, and up to €8,000 available for businesses in the retail and service sectors. The Lean for Business is a support for all types of enterprises, and we've had enterprises coming to us from who are organic gardens to phone repair shops to major manufacturing companies, indeed to construction companies, who want to look at how they, I suppose, manufacture, how they how their processes work to cut down on, I suppose, fat in the business, and indeed all those savings and efficiencies always go to the bottom line. So companies do make money from taking part in that program. The Digital for Business is a support that looks at the back end of your business. It's, I suppose, it's the opposite of the forward-looking website, and it looks at your computer systems, how you interact with your customers, how you interact with suppliers, with all stakeholders. And again, there's a report put together by a consultant who will come to your business, look at what you have, and then looks at what's out there that's available that might help your business become more efficient. We've a Sales and Export Accelerator program. There's 3 different strands, and the first strand is for looking at growing your sales within the island of Ireland, and the second strand is for looking at growing your business to the UK, Northern Ireland, and the Benelux region. And then we have a more in-depth program which looks at selling further afield to the Far East, to the US, to Australia. And the Strategic Growth Program for Female Founders is a program we actually started last year, and we're in the middle of the first pilot program at the moment. And again, we have businesses from all across the, I suppose, the spectrum taking part in that. So financial supports. Again, we have a range of supports, starting off with a feasibility grant. So if business has a product that you wish to develop a new prototype, or develop a new software program or a software app, you can get up to €50,000 or 60% of the cost of the development of that prototype. And moving on, for businesses that actually, have a product or a service, there's a priming and business expansion grant. So the priming grant is for a business up to 18 months old, and the business expansion grant is for a company post 18 months old who are looking to grow and scale. The headings for the grants are similar across both. So there is grant aid for capital equipment, hiring new employees, and consultancy, branding, marketing, and rent for the first 6 months of the business. There is no repayable aspects to any of our grants since COVID. The Agile Innovation Grant is for a large company who has pretty big turnover, who already has a product, who's making significant sales, and have a new idea for a product or a new idea for a new process within the business. So that grant, we work with Enterprise Ireland hand in hand on that grant. And there's a commercial assessor and a technical assessor. And I suppose the big thing about this grant, it's up to €300,000. And the nature of the grant is that it can be turned around quite quickly. The trading online vouchers for building a brand new website or upgrading an existing website, but there must be an e-commerce element to it. So you can get up to €2,500 for that. Micro Exporter Grant is to support businesses who want to travel abroad to a trade show, and that grant is up to €2,500, and that covers things such as flights, accommodation, and subsistence. And the energy efficiency grant I mentioned already, that is the follow-on from the consultancy for the Green for Business, where you can get a grant of up to €5,000 or €8,000, depending what sector you're in, to implement the outcomes of the report. So just to give you an idea of what we did last year in terms of supports in 2023. So again, just bearing in mind that we support Galway City and Galway County. And as you can see, we give out over $500,000 in financial grant aid, and that would have been split between priming, business expansion, feasibility, and 70 people took part in our management development programs. So those management development programs vary in terms of sectors. At the moment, we are running a pilot for the ag tech sector. So we have a number of our clients in that sector doing a management development program through the Design IT. It's an Enterprise Ireland gateway connected with the SETU, Southeastern Technology University. And as you can see, that 3 of our clients transferred to Enterprise Ireland. So that's something we're always looking at to encourage our businesses to grow and scale. So to give you an idea of what we are looking to, I suppose, support in terms of the general business economy for entrepreneurs and micro businesses in 2024 is to support and to continue to support our businesses to internationalize and increase their capabilities for exporting, not only through the UK and Europe, but also throughout the US. Digitalization is huge for SMEs. So again, with our digitalization support, we're looking to talk to more businesses to see how we can support in that side of things. Obviously, sustainability, it's coming down the tracks fast, and that's, I guess, an area that we're talking about every day, and certainly our Green for Business support is getting busier, and that's really good, because it really is, you know, one way for micro enterprise to just look at the carbon footprint without incurring any cost, and just to see, okay, what do I need to do? How do I do it? And what it's going to cost? And then, as you can see, again, we're always looking at, you know, supporting the leadership capability of our clients. And, you know, whenever, I suppose, you're talking to a VC or indeed any grant giving organization, they're always looking at the people. Quite often you're investing in the people as much as anything else in terms of technologies or innovations. Just to give you some ideas of some of our clients, GH Agri are a company based in Tuam, County Galway, and they've been around for a few decades. And as you can see, that they have got a number of grants from us, from the Business Expansion Grant, the Agile Innovation Grant. They took part in our export program. They got a grant to travel abroad to some trade shows, and a grant to develop their website. And they have, I mean, seen, I suppose, huge growth in their company. They've grown to 8 full-time employees, and I think the €100,000 increase in export sales has, in fact, jumped even more since we got these figures from the company, and have won a number of awards as well. So it's good to see companies availing of the supports and using those supports to grow the business. And a Galway City client, Galway Fairy Tales, Martha Begley-Shadé, who is a chemist by trade. In 2023 started up her business. She's from a family of storytellers, so something that came naturally to her. Has developed a range of books for children around topics such as bullying, kindness, teamwork, social inclusion, and so on. And through engagement with the local enterprise office here, she had a showcase at the RDS. She got a trading online voucher to promote her business. We also provided with her support to attend the ploughing and local food and craft gift fair in November. And she actually also represented Galway City Council under the LAMA, which is the Association of City and County Councils, in February of this year. And as you can see, she's not only selling books within Ireland, but she's selling them abroad to the US, and the Department of Education are translating her books. So again, you know, from, I suppose, a very short period of time, she's been doing very well. And you know, we're still in the background supporting Martha. So that's it. I'm going to stop sharing now.